You can use them. I'm not telling you can't use them. I'm just telling you, you won't get them honored, and you won't get them refunded. That's all it is. All right. We got some viewers in here. Oh yeah. No, that's fine. All right. I'm gonna start recording the podcast. At the intro of the podcast, I do like a 30-second to a minute little intro thing, and then I'll be like, "And welcome to Darksky Gaming Podcast," and then I'll pause for a minute, and that way when I come back, I can put the intro music there, and then we actually get into it. Hey guys, welcome to the Darksky Gaming Podcast. I'm Zenith Darksky. Today I have with me 3 different guests. 2 similar, but 1 different guest. And we're glad to have her here. But we have Nikolai Dawntreader, Valion Lightstar from my channel as mods, and Valion's recently started streaming for himself. And we have SoundLikeADude. And we're very excited to have her here. She has very interesting opinions and stuff like that I've conversed with her on her streams before. So it should be a pretty interesting episode today. But today we're not talking about anything serious. It's going to be the good old childhood dream of when you're playing video games and you're hanging out, you're talking with your friends, and you just think to yourself, man, I'd like this or this in a video game or whatever. It's dream video games, our dream video games specifically. If you have a dream video game and you're watching on YouTube later, or you're listening and there's comments, be sure to leave yours. I'll probably come back and look at them. If I get enough of them, I might do a YouTube video where I look at them and talk about them and stuff. That'd be pretty cool. But either way, welcome to the Darksky Gaming Podcast. There you go. Alright. Alright, guys. Welcome today. Like I said, we're doing dream video games today. First of all, I just kind of want to get into, I don't know, what excites you guys about video games? My favorite thing about video games is just that it's an escape. It's an escape from everything else in the world. That's what I try to offer with my Twitch. And, I just like entertainment that is an escape, and I don't have to see the world's issues in my media, I can sit down, be someone else for a few hours, play a video game, and just, live life, I guess, live life as someone else. Mm-hmm. Except for, obviously when it comes to multiplayer games and stuff, that's not quite the case. You're less of someone else and more of the most toxic version of you, So
that's true. That's probably very true.
I mean, but anyways, but I like the escapism in video games, and just the general fun and but I don't want to use that as my reason, so I'm going with escapism.
Right.
Because I think everyone here would acknowledge video games are just fun. They're just nice.
Yeah, pretty much.
But since you're a special guest, on this side, you're a special guest today. Do you have anything specific that draws you into video games and stuff, like something you really like about video games?
Well, the thing that I enjoy the most is really just getting to play with my friends.
Yep.
I don't have a tremendous amount of gaming experience, so there's not a lot that I can draw from. But I primarily play multiplayer games.
Mm-hmm.
That's really, stuff that I play by myself. It's just not that appealing to me because, I mean, I can sit there and get frustrated all day, but if I've got my friends with me, they can sit there and talk shit.
Yeah.
And suddenly, it's so much more interesting than just, oh God, I lost this game. Oh no, I got killed again, or whatever. That's, and they can be like, ah, well, so stop sucking.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, we've all been there for sure. That Dark Souls type shit where everyone else is playing it, so you want to play it, and then you get in it, then you get your ass blasted, and you're like, oh, well, fuck that game.
Oh, well, there we go. Yep.
There's a
It
reason.
really keeps you from getting so, at least for me, it prevents me from getting so serious
Yeah.
that I enjoy a game so much more than if I were just playing it by myself. I wouldn't be playing it as long.
I mean, I can understand that. As someone who grew up playing primarily single-player games, that hits home with me a lot, because even single-player games, playing them with friends involved or taking turns or something, was still a lot more fun than me sitting down and trying to play Dark Souls by myself or
Definitely.
Elder Scrolls or something by myself. It was much more interesting. Like, me and Nick, when Elder Scrolls Skyrim came out, me and Nick, he came over like that day or the day after. I think we got snowed out of school the next day too, so that was pretty cool. But we pretty much just stayed up all night. I was using my computer monitor that didn't have any audio, so I was like using headphones to listen to it. And I think I had him on the TV, or maybe the other way around. But either way, we sat there just playing Skyrim, and it was a lot more fun being able to play and be like, oh, dude, holy shit, where'd you get that thing? Like, and, compare our journeys rather than just, me at home playing it by myself. There was always that, that feeling of, what's the word? I guess wanderlust, where when you're playing a video game by yourself, just getting lost in the world can have a good effect on you, but it's always so much better with friends, for sure. Even if one of you's just watching the other one play or something, it's definitely better. But speaking of which, that brings me to a question I have for you. You're pretty new to video games generally, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I remembered you saying something about it. Not that reflects in your skill, I'm saying. I was pretty sure.
I mean, it does, but
But I was pretty sure you had said it before. So, what was your first gaming experience? Like, what was the first game that you played and you were like, holy shit, all right, I'm down with this. This is good shit.
Right. Don't judge. I know you good. You already judging. I feel you. I feel it coming. So that was Fortnite.
Oh no.
Right.
What attracted you to Fortnite? What was it that grabbed you?
So we had started several years ago when Vine was still a thing, and watching Viners, and one of the ones that we loved so much also had a YouTube channel and was playing video games. We're like, yeah, let's go check him out. And it was so funny watching him play these games. And that was not something I'd ever done before. Go to YouTube to watch someone play a game was like, what? Okay. But it was so entertaining. And that was about the time Fortnite came out. And everyone started, playing that and watching it. And
yeah.
I just remember I liked how colorful it was. I like the animations and the way that everything is designed. And it just seemed like I don't know, just kind of fun. I guess that was not something I had any experience with. Shooter games were not. Yeah. I never thought I would get into shooters, ever. Like I started Minecraft years ago.
Yeah.
And like probably 5 or 6 years ago, I didn't play it religiously all the time, but never ever thought I would play shooters.
Yeah. And then Fortnite grabbed you by the heart.
It was quirky enough, that it wasn't just shooting people. It wasn't the realistic. It wasn't like Call of Duty or something where it's like, I don't know. It just the concept of like these dudes sitting around and like, I don't know. I say in my head, I'm sitting there thinking about like dudes sitting around grunting and like yelling at each other and like, oh fuck you man, and like, oh you died over here and like
So it's my stream. Like, okay, I get you now.
I just never thought I'd be part of that world. Yeah. And Fortnite was quirky enough that there was these weird, boogie bombs and shit like that. Yeah. It's like, okay, I can get down with this. It's funny.
Yeah, it is. It is a very lighthearted game. I think that's one of the reasons why Fortnite specifically grabs a whole lot of people's attention. It's colorful,
Yeah.
it's fast paced, but it's not so serious. I mean, it obviously is if you get way up there, but
Right.
it doesn't take itself so serious. It's it's super easy. Like, I hadn't played it in months. Literally went back like last week and won a solo game, like first solo game that I played. And I was like, I like that I could come back to that and not stress myself out over all the building and shit. And I just played that bush game, dude. I just hid in the bush the whole time, bro.
The bush meta is the best.
It's been the meta ever since the game started, and
true.
I know all the pros hate to admit it, but it's still the meta.
That is so good, though.
It is.
I mean,
it works
when
so
you
well.
could camp in a tree and win a game.
Yeah.
I have my friend and I, when we play, anytime that we play arena together, the rule is no weapons are allowed. No weapons. You cannot intentionally cause harm to anyone else. We have won so many games
Jesus
in arena for that.
Oh my god.
It's amazing how well that works because they're so worried about each other. You know, they're fighting and they're camping and it's like between, just outbuilding them, out healing, or, when the propulsion like bombs and stuff are available, just getting them away from you.
Yeah.
I mean, cool. we've gotten to like the level 3, I forget what they call it, but like just with no weapons whatsoever.
Yeah. Nikolai, what's you don't have to tell me your whole history with video games here, but what's the video game out there for you that has, had some impact to the extent that it might not have been your first video game, but just the first video game that you played that where you were like, holy shit, like the mechanics or the gameplay of this game is just fucking fun. Like, I just like this.
Fallout 3.
Fallout 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. You play any Fallout SoundLikeADude?
No. I've really not even watched much of it. Like I've seen a little bit of 76 just because that's recent.
Yeah, that's the worst one.
I know, everyone talks about it. Yeah.
But admittedly, that is the only one that you could play with friends. So that might be the one for you. Especially now that it's had a bunch of fixes and stuff, so it could be better now. Me and him are just salty old men about the Fallout series. But
understandable.
What was it in Fallout though that got your attention, Nikolai?
Just all the possibilities.
Just like
the open world.
Yeah, all the fucking quests and shit.
Right. Yeah, that was the first open world game that I've played. So.
Okay. So.
And that's really my favorite type of genre. So.
Okay. So you just like the aspect of being able to go out into the world and doing what you want.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Valion, what was yours? I know you're a little bit older than, at least in gaming here. You're the oldest one here in terms of gaming experience, man. What's the one? Could be new, could be old. I don't give a shit. The one that really, really grabbed you, like, damn, that's fucking fun, dude. I gotta keep doing that.
I'm betraying my roots here, but honestly, the first game that really grabbed me like that, there's actually a couple. Sonic Adventure would actually be up there because it was a 3D Sonic game, and that was great. But if I had to give it to a game, of all fucking things, Furcadia. You remember that shit?
Oh my god. That furry piece of shit.
It was, for those of you who don't know, Furcadia, and I think they tried to revive it here a year or two ago or something, and it was a big controversy, ended up not working, but it was a social MMO. And I think that was what really drew me to it. For me, that was my first MMO experience. And I mean, that would go on to be the genre of games like I know the most about, far and away. But yeah, just because I built this little avatar of me, and sure, it was like shitty, 32-bit graphics or whatever they were. But it was fun. You got to go in this world with other people. We had a crappy internet connection out in the boonies, you remember, so you could support it on that, and that's what made it fun.
And RuneScape.
And then like finding RuneScape. And so it just opened the door to all of that. So yeah, I'd have to say it's not the oldest MMO I've played, because I did play Ultima Online, and I think Ultima Online was around before, but I didn't play it till after.
Yes.
But I'd have to say Furcadia.
Okay. All right. Have you ever played an MMO yet? Sound like a dude?
I don't think so. Like, honestly, I'm trying to think of what type of game, like what I would reference as an MMO.
So have you played Destiny yet?
No, but I've watched enough Destiny.
Okay, that's
that I
considered an MMO, just because it has the aspects of the hub areas and the non-instanced gameplay areas and stuff have, a lot of people that maybe they're not in your party, and there's millions of people on the game technically that you could see at any moment, so it's considered an MMO by definition. I would suggest, and Domination said this in the chat here, I would suggest, if you were going to ever try one, a decent entry-level MMO, for me at least, to me, it's the one that actually made me like MMOs, is World of Warcraft. I'm not a massive World of Warcraft fan anymore, and I think that just comes with, it's like a, MMOs are like a cheese, okay? Except you're the cheese. The older you get in there, the more affiliated with the right idea of an MMO that you want, you get.
I see.
So,
okay. I've got a few friends trying to get me into WoW.
It's okay. It's colorful.
Like,
it's bright.
No.
And it can be fast-paced.
Yeah.
For an MMO. So I guess if you specifically, knowing just like that Fortnite drew you in and you like Minecraft and Apex, I would say World of Warcraft would probably be a good entry level for you. Now down the line, I'm gonna push you into some more hardcore stuff, but that's just me. I'm a big fan of grindy kind of games and stuff, like Monster Hunter.
I see.
And RuneScape and stuff like that. So that new MMO, New World, really, me and Nick, we couldn't drop enough time into that game during the preview event. I mean, if I was a single man, and this is 100% of my time was streaming, dude, I would have been on New World
all
for
day,
like 5 days straight, dude. But it's just super grindy. But I like the grindy nature of things, where if I'm just chilling out, I can put on a video on the other monitor and be just chopping wood and grinding, crafting jobs and stuff over on the MMO, and then at the same time be preparing for a war with 50 other people to go find each other in a field somewhere. And I don't know, I just really liked that. So eventually I might try to push you into something like that, but I'd start you off on World of Warcraft. It's the MMO that gets people into MMOs, and I think,
feel like way back in the day for me, that I signed up. I feel like it was WoW.
Mm-hmm.
It was you're free, try it out for free, and you get to 10 levels, and then it's like, all right, well, you can't progress anymore, or something like that.
Yeah, it's probably WoW.
I feel like I tried that, or it was a similar game. If it wasn't,
yeah,
because I can't remember at this point. But
yeah, WoW is I would call it a traditional RPG in the way that the attacks and moves and stuff like that, and the abilities that you can use, they're under a global cooldown, which means when you use one, even if you could use it again right after, you can't until it cools down for half a second. And then there's other moves with actual cooldowns and casting speeds and stuff. And so it's kind of slow. It can be fast, but depending on who you're playing, what class you're playing and stuff. But so it wouldn't be far away to think maybe you may have played it, but you also may have played like a couple other MMOs trying to rip it off. Because there's a few of those out there that are kind of free and just kind of underground.
I feel like it was one of those like big ones that like everyone. This would have been like end of high school, early college sort of thing. So a good 15 years ago.
You went to college?
Briefly.
Oh,
I almost got my associate's degree. Almost.
Well, look, we on that entire right side to you guys, left side of the screen over there. We just got the college people, okay? Over
got the
here,
smart column over here.
Yeah,
Ooh.
there you go. And then over here, you got the guys who learned everything they know from YouTube. So
that's right.
Hey, it's valid most of the time anyway.
We went to the good old college of YouTube. All right. It was free. It's free of charge. You just pay for the internet.
Technically, it was free for me, so, but, it was community college, all right? It was just, I was living with my mom. It was just me and my mom, so I qualified for the free stuff,
Okay. Yeah, so. I started to go to a technical school for mechanic stuff, and then I was like, everyone kept telling me, man, if you do that for a living, you won't want to work on your own cars, or you won't like cars anymore. And I was like, oh, fuck it. Never mind.
Okay.
No.
I don't know. They kept saying it scared me from it, and I was like, I don't know about it. Also, though, there's a lot of hours of mechanic work, and I was like, man. Well, Z, you have a 130 IQ. Don't bluff, you Einstein. I still don't know that website was, like, legitimate, okay? I paid $50 for a half-ass IQ test, all right? I'm not sure. Could have been a waste of money. Either way, so going back to it initially here, I think the big thing that really excites me about video games, like if I go back and think of the one video game that really just had a lot of stuff that I really liked, and there's, like Valiant said, there's a couple. I have a couple initial ones that really got me into those ideas in gaming, and then I have a couple that renewed my interest recently in video games and a lot of stuff, because you play video games your whole life, stuff starts to get stale, you see the same stuff over and over, and you're just like I don't, it's okay, it's a fun game, I guess, but so initially I would say the first ones that really got me into it are kind of along the lines of what Valiant was saying. Like, I don't know, I can't attribute it to any one game at all. It's like Conker's Bad Fur Day for the N64 really showed me how fun and hilarious a video game could be. It's a very adult game, and I shouldn't have been playing it at that age, but we're here now, alright? So, and it was just stupid fun. Have you ever heard of Conker's Bad Fur Day?
No.
Not even you, Nikolai?
Nope.
You disappointment.
Traitors, both of you.
That's right. This is just a Zenith and Valiant podcast now. The only reason I know it is because of Valiant. So, but yeah, Conker's Bad Fur Day. Basically, what you played a squirrel named Conker, an alcoholic squirrel named Conker, and at the beginning of the campaign, the story, he like lost his girlfriend or something, and he was sad, and he was like going home and like just gotta like burping every 5 seconds, and you play as him drunk, and he just doesn't move correctly at all, and then that's like the tutorial is you learn how to play the game while he's drunk. So basically you learn how to play the game at his worst state possible, and it makes the game that much harder, and then after you leave the tutorial area, it's fine. Everything's fine again. And then you're going around smacking cheese that yells when you smack it, and smacking keys that hop around away from you with eyes, and they also yell when you hit them. And just all kinds of stupid shit. But then the multiplayer game, the multiplayer made me realize how fun a multiplayer stuff could be, because it was it was teddy bears against squirrels, and you just killed each other. That's all it was. It was like TDM, Team Deathmatch, and you just killed each other. You had bazookas and all kinds of shit, and there was gore, and it was just a good time. It was a fun game, but
Nice.
that one probably made me realize how fun games could be. While Sonic Adventure really showed me like the mechanical side of video games, like that, it wasn't just run here and hit this person or anything. It was run here, jump up these platforms, you have to time the jumps right, there's obstacles and stuff, and it really got me into the flow of platforming games and stuff, and I was like, holy shit, okay. And then kind of like what Nick said here, when I got into Fallout and Elder Scrolls, those ones kind of set up the whole RPG elements where the character felt more like whatever I wanted it to be, and I thought that was amazing. I was like, you mean I don't have to be a blue hedgehog that says corny shit all the time? I can I could be my own corny person? Holy shit. And then I could still make my skin tone blue. Holy fuck. But then I'd say the last one out of those, really, really like the cornerstone of like gaming to me, would be like Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts really set in stone to me how amazing a video game story could be. And you got fans out here who are like, oh, it's too convoluted and everything, but I don't know. Even as a young child, I didn't have a whole lot of trouble following the story, but I could see how it's convoluted, but I didn't have any issue following it. And it just, I don't know, it was the first video game to make me cry, and I was like, holy shit, dude, like, this is the way it could be done. And it was bright and colorful and had Disney characters and Final Fantasy characters, which I had started to get into Final Fantasy around that time, and so it's just like clashing a bunch of things I grew up with, and I was like, holy shit!
Nostalgia!
Yeah, exactly. Having said that, though, so, I've kind of got, like, I don't think there's any one game that did it for me, and then there's games that have renewed my interest over time. When Fortnite first came out, me and Nikolai dropped hours and hours into Fortnite when it first came out, and, because it was just colorful and fun, and we could play with our friends, and there were so many people on the map. Also, it was the first game we could play without having to have a monster PC to run PUBG at the time. So we kind of had to play with what we could. And then the New World recently has renewed my interest in video games. But yeah, so moving on from that, though, now that we've kind of established what we all like about video games, let's just take a minute here to acknowledge any video games coming up that we all might be interested in. Obviously, my go-to right now, I'm going to tell you guys 100%, is Cyberpunk and New World. Those are the two that really interested me. And I know it sounds weird because I play a lot of multiplayer games on this channel, but it's not multiplayer games. Well, New World is, but Cyberpunk has no, like, it has a multiplayer thing coming out for it later, I think, but generally it's not a multiplayer game. So, but that's what I'm excited for. Obviously, New World, just because it's renewed my hope in the grindiness and the casual, but at the same time hardcore nature of video games. And Cyberpunk, because just because it's so massive of a game and there's so much customization and you can make that character feel like you living in that world. But having said that, SoundLikeADude, what are you looking forward to? Like, you got any video games specifically you're looking forward to, even if it's just the future of like Apex or something, or anything like that, anything that's really got your sights set on the horizon for video games?
Yeah, I don't keep up with gaming news. So like, when the next big thing hits, it's like it's because everyone already knew about it and is already playing it. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. Ooh, it's like Fall Guys. I just hopped on the Fall Guys bandwagon and it's like, everyone's already won. I mean, Tim the Tatman finally won, so I'm that far behind.
Oh no.
So
Oh no. You got to get your win.
But yeah, I am adoring Apex with the last season with really introducing more of a storyline to everything. I cannot wait to see where they take things, and I'm so excited for it. So that's kind of my thing.
Yeah, I think Apex is doing a good job at keeping itself very fresh and moving very fast. I cannot believe what's happening in this chat right now. Jesus Christ, dude. Anyways, Nikolai, you got anything? I assume your answer probably lines up with my answer pretty well, but I'm just gonna give you a chance to say what you could be excited about and stuff like that. What video games are you looking forward to here in the future? Whether it's super close or far off. What's got you excited for video games here in the future?
Yeah, like you said, New World and Cyberpunk, but also I've really been waiting for the next Elder Scrolls.
Oh yeah, I know. I think everybody is, and it fucking sucks because we won't see that game till probably 2022 or 2023, and I hate that. I hate that because they're working on that space version of Elder Scrolls and Fallout and stuff that they do. I don't remember what it's called now. Jesus Christ.
Right.
They renewed the trademark every 5 years and everything, but yeah, they finally announced it, and that's supposedly gonna maybe come out next year or the year after. And then I'm sure they've got Elder Scrolls in the back burner. I don't know, man. Bethesda, they make such grand games in scope, but at the same time, like I don't want to encourage a studio to crunch or anything like that. That sucks. I would not. I wouldn't want to be in the game industry if I had to crunch like that all the time. But at the same time, it's one of those things. It's like, God, can you guys hire more people or something? Like, Jesus, I want the game sooner for sure. And I don't know. But yeah, Elder Scrolls is something I think every Elder Scrolls fan, at least, is looking forward to for sure. What's got you excited about those games? Like, from gameplay elements to story, what's really has your heart set on those games, Nikolai?
I really like the kind of medieval feel of it. That and the magic, and just like I said before, open world games.
Yeah, New World or Elder Scrolls?
Elder Scrolls.
Okay, I was like,
yeah, I mean, they're kind of the same essence.
Yeah, for sure. And old Valion over there, what's got your pessimistic heart set on the future of video games, man? What's got you looking forward to it?
To the future, the imminent collapse of society. Wait, that's not a game.
The way it's going, it could be.
Yeah, IRL, the game for everyone.
Yeah.
But honestly, if I had to pick one, probably Cyberpunk. I mean, I don't know. You were talking earlier about, getting to the stage where it's like, yeah, I guess that's a fun game. I'm an old man. I've already seen the plateau. There's nothing that really comes out anymore that's super impressive. But as far as just being able to appreciate it from a technical aspect, Cyberpunk for sure. Oh, yeah. It looks so well built as a game that you can't help but appreciate it.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's like CD Projekt Red. That's what they do. Is make, I don't want to use the word because it's a rough word, but I'm going to use it, all right? Perfect games. And I don't mean absolutely perfect, because obviously nothing can be perfect. But CD Projekt Red has a track record now of making games that are just so damn close to the perfect idea of that game that anyone does. I mean, Skyrim, a lot of people would argue that was pretty close to perfect too, but Skyrim had a bunch of glitches and stuff, and I'm not saying Witcher and stuff like that doesn't... Ooh. Excuse me. Oh, man. I'm about to start throwing out them timeouts, domination. But, anyways. But, yeah, CD Projekt Red just... I mean, I don't think there's a day that goes by that I don't think of Cyberpunk, because it's just... Like, I'm not trying to sound like a little girl with a crush on the latest K-pop dude, but god damn, bro, Cyberpunk. It's just... It just looks so good, dude. Like, I know people that have never been interested in single-player games, or haven't been recently, that are interested in Cyberpunk 2077. Like, 100%. I mean, I don't want to assume here, but I'm going to take a wild stab and say that even SoundLikeADude probably has seen the game and is like, okay.
I've seen the artwork. I've seen the artwork, and I tell you what, the artwork draws me.
Oh yeah, it's
for sure.
And on top of that,
I love that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure. And they timed it so well, because they made a Blade Runner sequel, Stranger Things, built around the 80s and with the synthwave vibes and stuff like that. And just so many things kind of trying to hit synthwave and 80s and stuff again. And 80s, when you think 80s, you think of our version that we've seen so far of Cyberpunk. Big neon lights in Miami and a lot of that EDM music rising and stuff like that. And then that's where you started seeing like Blade Runner and stuff like that, where people started to hit on that sci-fi cyberpunk kind of aesthetic. And so they just timed that game so goddamn well. I don't know if they had the lowdown on the Matrix around us, where they were like, all right, everyone's gonna like the 80s next, so Cyberpunk. And I don't know what they did, but that game just looks amazing. Having said that, though, now we've kind of built, amongst all of us, we've kind of built for each of us a kind of resource and material panel, if you want to put it as that, for what we like in video games. Now we're gonna dip in to the real shit. Cottonelle sponsoring this stream, so no, I'm just trying to lay out there to all the sponsors.
Triple
in the
ply.
future. That's right. I'm trying to let them all know that I can hit those segues, all right, into the ads. Okay, so remember, sponsor me.
Big brain.
That's right. But anyways, we have that resource panel now where we can draw from and kind of build for the audience here our favorite, or not our favorite games, our dream games, and kind of what we see and what we would like. And each of you guys, like I said before, I don't care if you interrupt each other, because, if one of us throw out a cool idea, the other one might just have to be like, holy shit, but
right.
Either way, so I guess I don't even know how to start this segment, because this could go on forever. I could sit here and tell you forever about my dream game, but we don't have forever. But we're not too limited either on time. So, god damn it. So, I don't even know how to start this, dude. I guess I'll start and get mine out of the way so that you guys, I guess, have time to build on yours and kind of listen to how I'm doing it and stuff, so that you can do your own thing. Not that it really knows that... damn it. He knows his shit. But so just I don't know. I'm just gonna go. So my dream video game is open world RPG. Has to be. It could be MMO. Doesn't have to be. But it'd be nice if it's not an MMO to play with friends for sure, and have friends experience that with me. And I'm a big fan of, like, the paper doll inventory system. For those of you who don't know, paper doll inventory system, if you've ever played Champions, Norath, Diablo, any of those types of RPGs where you have a big grid style inventory, it's not a grid style where you have to fit the shit in there, but it's a grid style inventory system. And you can pick a piece of armor that you picked up, and, if you like the stats on it and stuff, it goes to your character, so it actually shows on your character as well. And, I really like the type of menu system of, like, Diablo and Champions Norath as well. We have tabs. You have your inventory and your stuff that you're wearing right now, and you can see your character. I like to see that customization. Speaking of customization, I would like the customization to be deep, immensely deep.
Yeah, definitely.
Customization is just something that immerses me so much more into the game. Whether it's trying to actually make me in the video game or trying to make that character that I want to be, but can't be in this world, and I'm talking hairstyles, everything that you could pick from, because who the fuck doesn't want, exactly, who doesn't want the
makeup,
mohawk? Exactly.
A sick-ass mohawk with every color possible, thank you. Right. Multiple color possibilities, like
color wheel you can pick from instead of the they all have like just a list of colors or the blocks where you can pick the color. How about just
like
color
6
wheel?
colors to choose from? No.
Just let me pick from a color wheel and saturate, contrast, all that stuff. I mean, immense customization. But then I want, like I was saying, the inventory system, but this dream game that I'm thinking of, though, is not limited to, like, Middle Ages, that kind of, medieval. It's not limited to that. It's not limited to futuristic. I'd like it to be somewhere in the middle, where swords and melee weapons are still a viable option, but I can also have guns and bows and all that kinds of shit, too, along with power, like abilities and magic and stuff. And kind of in the same vein as Elder Scrolls, where this idea is trademarked, by the way. But along with the idea of Elder Scrolls leveling system, where it's like, there's no level cap necessarily, and always an increase in power. Even if there are skill trees and the skill trees can be maxed out, there's still an increase in power in some way to level up in the future as well. And god damn, I can't not acknowledge that. Where do vampires learn how to suck blood? Law school. God damn.
Like one of the only jokes that I ever remember.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Sorry, I'm being all distracting over here.
No, you're good. That's just chat. That's just the way it is. But you should have seen the podcast when Simfis and Bearded were on it. I mean, they're great dudes, and they were great having them on the podcast and stuff. But they would be sharing, because they know I can't, like, I probably won't click out of full screen on Discord. So they purposely put a bunch of shit in there, just raunchy ass memes that I can't click out of full screen for. So they're sitting there laughing about it, and I can't see the shit. So I'm sitting there the whole time like, what is going on? But
assholes. Ooh.
But either way, so an immense leveling system and character building system, and like just a lot of skill trees, but also having craftable stuff too. And see, the problem with my game, my dream game, I know 100%, the problem with it is it's too ambitious. It would take too long to make, too much money to make. I know it would. Not that I would want it realistic. I would want an art style like Overwatch or Fortnite, very cartoony, but at the same time kind of detailed. But immense leveling system, immense customization, and just a big ass open world. I mean, Skyrim is big enough, I could live with that, but I'm talking like if I could go bigger for sure. And just the like I was saying, like to start off when you're level 1, you're like, you know, you're level 0, level 1, whatever you want to start at. You are either using your fists until you find a stick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you can fight with the stick. It might increase your melee damage by a little bit, but it doesn't have to increase it by a lot. Nothing too easy, but nothing too hard either in terms of difficulty. Obviously, maybe just a combat difficulty setting so that you could set it if you just wanted to explore the world and everything and craft a house and stuff like that. You could do that and, you know, have just combat be peaceful like Minecraft or something. Or you could have it to the extent of Dark Souls level, you know, skill-based gameplay, like combat. I'd probably just stick somewhere in the middle because I do want to still fight, but I'd also like to be able to I'd like to have the challenge, but at the same time be able to, at some point, if I kill all the enemies in an area for a while before they respawn, I could build my house there or something, and not have to worry too much about people. But anywhere from sticks and regular t-shirts and jeans and stuff like that, because we're talking more modern age, but with weapons of all sorts. And you could have mounts in this game ranging anywhere from horses to, I don't know, bicycles and cars and shit. Nothing too extreme. It would be game breaking if you could like get jets and shit, you know, but just kind of in that range. And let's see what else. You know, it's got the crafting kind of stuff. Nothing too extreme with crafting. Just generally, if you're out chopping wood, you can carry it to like a storage that you have on your plot of land that you've claimed or whatever, and set all your resources in there so that when you're building your house and it needs 3, you know, or 16 wooden planks or whatever for this wall, you don't have to go to it to get it. You could just have it right there at your disposal. But beyond the crafting, it's like the crafting I'm not super serious about. I like that kind of stuff just because it gives you more immersion and building your own little house and stuff. But that's not necessary. But then, as far as weapons and stuff go, like I said, sticks, then, I don't know, knives, like using anything as a weapon, really. Sticks to knives and, you know, eventually all the way up to guns and magic and swords and stuff like that you could craft or you could find. And obviously I like the idea of having like a legendary version of those weapons out in the world and stuff, and a bit of a rarity to the weapons as well. And I don't know, that generally is kind of my idea of my dream game. Just open world RPG, immense immersion, immense customization, leveling, and, you know, armor and stuff that ranges from shirts to battle armor to, you know, badass looking wizard robes and shit like that, to, you know, just as much as you could do with armor in a video game, basically. Even to just like using like some kind of a conjuration magic, like from Elder Scrolls or something, to create your armor that way and just have like this magical armor stuff. I really would like to see that in some kind of a world where I could also play with at least 2 or 3 people, if not an MMO. MMO would be that's asking for a lot. So I'm fine if it was just being able to play, you know, with your friends or whatever, online or local, with that type of animation style that comes from Overwatch, Fortnite. That's more or less my idea. I could go into details about enemies and stuff like that, you know, ranging from dragons to military like forces and stuff, like fighting whole armies and stuff. And then obviously, like Elder Scrolls Skyrim had a bit of an infinite quest generator, because they had one in it. It was just eventually it gets around to those quests where it's a bunch of the same things. You're just doing it in different areas with different people and stuff. And it would automatically spawn whatever you had to go fetch or whatever in that area, so that it wasn't there constantly and didn't fill up the world with too much. But I don't know. That's kind of my thing. I don't know if that hits on anything you guys would like, but obviously it's our dream games. Either way, having said that,
Definitely.
though, I don't know. What do you guys think about that type of game?
I think definitely there's a lot of those elements. Oddly enough, for me, not doing single player games, not typically doing RPGs, I think I'd be on the similar vein.
Okay. What about you, Nikolai? What are you thinking about it?
Yeah, there's a lot of good points you made there that I like the sound of.
Okay. What about you, Valion?
I mean, sounds like a game.
All right, there you have it.
I mean,
Bethesda, you can call me via 5. No, I'm kidding. All right, but that's, like I said, I could keep going with that idea. I don't want to, because even though even though it is my podcast, I don't want to. It's not all about me. Okay, because I could sit here and do a solo episode about my dream video game. Okay, I could go on further, but I ain't gonna do it. I want to give more time to you guys to kind of build in your head what you're thinking of when you think of, man, what do I like in video games? What would I like to see put together and expanded upon in these other video games and stuff? And obviously, like I did, you could take from certain games and be like, I don't know, the characters from Apex, or similar characters to Apex, but is it a battle royale, or is it just more of a PvP MMO, or you could just do stuff like that as well.
It's an Apex DLC that's all Mirage.
There you go. God damn it. There you go. Yeah, for those that don't know, SoundLikeADude has a little bit of a crush on Mirage. It's okay. I got an ultra crush on Loba, and it never stops. It doesn't stop.
I mean, who
for anybody.
doesn't? Honestly.
I mean, really, I don't know.
Damn.
That guy needs a promotion.
Thighs for weeks. Oof.
Something's going on over there. Either way, SoundLikeADude. If you wanna take it away and give us your build and ideas of your dream video game.
So I feel like somewhere before I started with Minecraft, my husband, who did a little bit of PC gaming, I think it was Vampire the Masquerade, was what it was.
Okay.
He and that was when that was still kind of an old game.
Yeah.
And he still had it, and he's like, "Oh, you might like this," and I feel like I tried a little bit of it, but I was immediately disappointed. And I think ever since then, I have wanted something like that, but better. So, like, I've been sitting here thinking, scratching my head, and it's like, again, as much as I don't really do the single-player games,
yeah,
the only RPG I really have any experience with currently, and I just finished it, was Borderlands 2.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. But I still think that I would love to have an RPG, a vampire RPG.
Yeah.
And I think specifically for me, it would have to be based on the Underworld series, which I'm obsessive fan over.
Mm-hmm.
I like the modern vampire. I don't really like the old Victorian type vampire as much.
Yeah.
I like the fighters. I like the warriors, the modern warriors with the trench coats and the corsets and the leather and the
Yeah, I feel you.
you
I
know.
feel you.
And I think having a very, very realistic RPG, just immensely detailed, as you're saying, immensely detailed, huge open world. I think it would be fun to even have different maps along the way of, specific cities or made up cities, or, you could be in an old part of Europe, or you could be in Japan, or you could be in New York City, or, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think would be amazing.
Yeah.
And I think go ahead.
I think a game set in this world, but where you could do what you want like that is kind of, and go where you want, is a very interesting thing that we don't see explored enough in video games.
Seems like it, yeah. But just like you were saying with just almost endless possibilities in terms of customization and stuff, that I can't get enough customization. I can't.
Yeah.
And it drives me nuts when, and I've noticed, at least with Borderlands, okay, so you have a little bit of customization with your characters, but you never see your characters.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah, I feel that.
Like, who cares what I look like? So I don't want it if I can't see my character.
Yeah, I do like games that let you customize your character, but let you do first person, but at any time third person too. Like Elder Scrolls and stuff lets you do that. So at least I can see my character once in a while, just because I want to see how cool they are. But yeah, go on.
It makes a difference to me. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it helps with immersion for sure. And I would like to feel immersed. I would like to feel like I am a part of that world. And Borderlands didn't do that for me. We're gonna do Borderlands 3, and then I'm gonna be doing some Titanfall. So you can kind of see how that goes.
Okay.
But so far, that's not happened for me.
Trying to explore more into that Titanfall universe now.
I want to know. I want to know everything about the world that Apex is in. I am invested, to say the least.
Yeah.
I can't wait to learn more and get more backstory and stuff like that. So, yeah, we'll kind of see how that goes. But I would really love to have, a modern world. I would love for you to like you were kind of saying, level up from. I mean, you don't start with a gun. You start as soon as your turn, and you have to find your way. Do you stick with the person that turned you? Do you go off by yourself? Do you choose to hide amongst the humans, or do you seclude yourself? If there's werewolves or other mythic beings in there. Are you at war with them? Do you do a little side truce with them? And to level up, to get jobs, to get specific roles, to have loyalties. And then a little bit of crafting would be kind of cool. I think it'd be neat to, if you're in New York, do you have, some little hovel somewhere? Are you in the sewer? Are you a sewer vamp, or are you high class, ritzy,
Yeah. Yeah,
but obviously you can't get that right away. Like, you have to acquire the means to get there eventually. And that, and I would love a multiplayer aspect to it. So do you create your own coven? Can other people join your coven? How careful are you in choosing people, to turn? Yeah. I would absolutely love that. But then having quests and having to go out and, I think it would be interesting on a multiplayer level to be vulnerable. So, your coven and where you're holed up, do you, having the ability to make it defensible even would be really neat. Because if another coven wants to come in, or pack of werewolves wants to come and wreck your shit, can you actually withstand that? Yeah. Oh man.
Okay. Now, I will say, one, Vampire the Masquerade is getting a sequel. And this one is supposed to be pretty expansive. I don't know if it's going to be what you're talking about. Obviously, it probably won't. One of the topics that I have lined up for the future at some point, when maybe I could get some industry insiders in on the podcast, is the disconnect between players and consumers versus the industry people, the developers and stuff, because there's certainly a disconnect there. Like, you know, we'll see, I don't know, Borderlands 3 is a good example, came out, and there's certainly a disconnect between the player base and Gearbox with Borderlands at the moment, because Borderlands 3 is a fantastic game.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
That's what I've heard.
But the DLC so far for the level, raising the level cap, doesn't even let you go as high as Borderlands 2, and the DLC, like, they said they're not going to do any DLC characters at all. And I was devastated by that, because I love Borderlands 2, their DLC characters and stuff, Gage and Krieg. I was a big Krieg fan, and he was not a core character to the game. You know, he was an extra character. And right now we have that Krieg DLC, so we get to explore more of his stuff in that. But yeah, so there are a couple games that hit kind of near where you're saying. There's the Vampire. It's just called Vampire, Vampyr. It's a vampire RPG. But I don't think it's nowhere near as in depth as you're asking. It's just more.
I mean, that's kind of unrealistic anyway.
No, I mean, I don't think so. That's something that really gets me with a lot of video games nowadays. Is a lot of people tend to be like, well, we're never getting this game because it's not realistic or whatever. We're like, we can't. There's no way they could do that. They could. I see, like, a lot of people say that kind of stuff, and then we see games like Cyberpunk and Witcher come out, or like Skyrim, or New World, or any number of MMOs that have this huge, expansive world that you could do. You might have to price the game up a little bit more, but that's something people are going to have to do anyways eventually. And as inflation gets bigger, as we progress through technology, shit's going to get more expensive. I know people are putting up a fight right now because the next gen video games are going to be $70, a lot of them. And people are losing their shit over that. Like, no, they shouldn't be. Like, they need to make a little bit more money to pay for some of this newer technology, and on top of that, everything is being inflated, so they kind of do need to do that. Also, you have to pay the developers for constantly having to go through crunch and stuff like that, because they still do that. They consistently have to crunch for video games to make these dates that the publishers unrealistically put on them. And but either way, so I don't think my game, I think, is out of the realm of possibility without it being an MMO, because it would need so much money, I think, to support the expansive idea that I think it would need to be a game as a service to be able to make its money back. But your game, I think, is reachable. I think it's, and I'm not trying to say mine's better, it's not that kind of thing.
No.
It's just, I think your game is within reach, kind of. I don't know, we haven't seen any gameplay for Vampire the Masquerade 2, so I don't know how expansive that game's going to be. It could end up being pretty expansive if it's made, because Vampire the Masquerade's based on a tabletop RPG.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like Cyberpunk 2077 is also based on what you got?
Her game kind of exists already, just sans vampires.
Okay. What game?
Go figure.
I was actually going to talk about it later online, but The Secret World.
Secret World. I've never heard of that game in my life, bro. That's
Yeah.
insane.
Go on. I'll talk about it later. Yep.
Not surprising if I haven't heard of anything. I haven't heard of a
Yeah.
lot of
It's. I mean, it's not your fault. But Vampire the Masquerade might hit on, assuming they take it as in depth as they do with Cyberpunk and stuff. It's not CD Projekt Red doing it, and that's where my my lack of hope comes in. I think any game set to that scale, with that mature idea and of those kinds of creatures and stuff, I think it should be 100% handled by CD Projekt Red. They've done nothing but good so far, and literally nothing but good to me so far. But if they do take it into the direction like CD Projekt Red would, I think they could have your game like 100% in the mix. So you might want to keep an eye out for that game. I don't know when it's coming out. I think it was supposed to come out this year and then got delayed till next year. Hopefully that's a good
Believe
thing.
it.
But and then Vampire the RPG. I didn't have a whole blast with Vampire, Vampyr, but it does kind of pick up. You pick the game up from when you were turned, but the vampire that turned you like isn't there or something. And,
Oh yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and you have to kind of run away, and it gives you the general tutorial, like run here, here's how you run, here's how you
I
do
skipped
attack.
all of that,
Uh-oh.
and he got so frustrated.
You don't want to do that. Like, I know
they were
tutorials
like-
can be time consuming, but you got to do it.
And like, I've not really ever did a PC game before
Yeah.
at the time, so it's like, well, you can skip this if you want. And I'm like, fuck that, let's get into the game. And he's like,
Oh no.
I'm like, I don't know how to do stuff. He's like, wonder why.
God damn it.
Sorry.
But yeah, so obviously then you've played Vampire, and I don't know that
Yeah.
that hit. I feel like that one was too linear. They didn't go open enough and big enough for that game. I feel like that's where that game fell short. But also, I think it wasn't a full $60. It was like $40. So I assume it was a lesser known studio that did it.
Yeah, probably.
And, yeah, just did try to do what they wanted to with that. But yeah, I like your idea. I very much. That's I think vampires and werewolves and stuff like that. I think, admittedly, in movies and stuff, I feel like they may have been overdone at this point. Maybe not recently, actually. There's not a whole lot of that recently. But in terms of video games, like, zombies have been killed off in video games. Dying Light still does good things with zombies, and hopefully Dying Light 2 will be great. People still play Left 4 Dead, so in terms of zombies, it's even still alive, even though it's been overdone a little bit. But vampires and werewolves and stuff like that.
It could make a comeback.
I
Could,
think
for
it
sure.
could, especially in video games. I don't see a whole lot of video games doing that type of thing. Elder Scrolls kind of hits on some werewolves and vampire stuff, but it's lackluster the way they do it.
Yeah.
And it's also not built around that idea. It'd be very interesting to have a game built around, oh, you're a vampire or a werewolf or whatever, and what are your decisions now? What do you do with your life? I guess a little bit of a life sim in a way, but more
Yeah, a little
actual
bit. Yeah.
RPG
Like,
game.
I kind of like the idea of throwing in a little bit of, Sims stuff and being like, oh, I want to redecorate today, and I've got the money, so,
yeah.
I
mean, I think
let's go a little bit more medieval here. I don't know.
Yeah. A lot of these ideas I think we're all going to throw out here today are probably going to be ideas that would be better fit probably for MMOs. Because I could see an MMO in the vein of what you're describing, and I think that would hit well with you, because you could play with your friends, but you could also meet other people and stuff on it too, and see what they're doing. And they could do it like Destiny or Final Fantasy, where the story missions are instanced, so it's either just you or you and your group. That way, you're still formatting your world how you decide, and your decisions are still impacting you and your world specifically, but you still can meet other people and do stuff with them as well. But yeah, I think that's it's a good idea, just because I think solely based on the fact that I don't think there's enough done with vampires and werewolves in video games. Books specifically have kind of overkilled it for me, but
yeah,
movies recently haven't hit on them a whole lot, and so that's interesting. It'd be interesting to see if someone had an original idea for a movie, but video games, I think it's wide open in video games. So for the most part, because the only ones they've done so far are kind of lackluster, like Vampire and the original Vampire the Masquerade was but well, I say that a lot of people really like that first game. I don't want to shit on it. It wasn't for me. Right. And like you said, it wasn't for you or anything, but for sure, it was pretty good. Oh, there he is. Either way, what are you thinking about her idea, though, Nikolai? You muted.
I like the idea, but what I've got in mind kind of sums up both of y'all's ideas into one, kind of.
Okay.
And going back to what you were saying about increasing price and technology, if you just look at VR, the HTC Vive Pro, if you get the full kit, it's like $3,000.
Yeah.
And then the what is it? Haptic feedback. Suits, those are pretty expensive. And then if you look at the Infinideck, omnidirectional treadmill.
Yeah.
It retails between $40,000 and $60,000.
God damn, bro.
Yeah.
Jesus. A little steep.
So
a little steep for me.
With those in mind, my dream game has already been envisioned in Ready Player One.
Oh. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, before we continue on with that, real quick, Valiant, what are you thinking about Sound Like a Dude's game?
No, I mean, it's a... I guess maybe when I said that her game kind of exists, it makes it sound like I was being an ass, like, oh, your game's out there.
Nah.
That's not what I meant. Actually, one of the games that I want personally is very, very fucking similar to that, and that's why it just kind of caught me off guard. I was like, wait a second. Yeah. But no, I like the idea. I'll talk more about it later, but yeah, it's a good one.
Okay. Alright, well, we appreciate your dream video game, Sound Like a Dude. After all, these are dream video games. If we thought of it, someone else out there probably would like to see it too, so there's a market for it. So, again, feel free, game developers, to contact any one of us if you want those those tips on how to make your games not trash. But okay, Nikolai, let's get into your idea here. You said it was envisioned in Ready Player One, but expand on that for us. Give us details on what you'd like to see, and even if you have to use details from Ready Player One, let us know kind of what just expand on it, I guess.
Well, I really like the idea of being immersed in the way they do it in that movie. But also there's another show called Westworld on HBO.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of you've seen that. That would be pretty sweet. It's for anyone who doesn't know, it's a show that's about basically a big island, and they have androids on it, and the rich go there to experience basically an RPG. So I think combining those two ideas, that probably isn't going to come in my lifetime, but that would be my dream game, I think.
Okay.
Mostly due to the immersion of it.
Yeah. So a VR, AR style, just RPG where you could literally just do kind of what you want, basically.
Exactly.
Live the life that you don't get to live, but actually live it in a way.
Right.
Are there any ideas that you would like to, like that they do, that you have like different, or that you would like to expand upon in terms of Westworld and Ready Player One? Like anything they kind of hit on, but you would like it to be more in depth here or there, or?
The economy system in Ready Player One, how it reflects on the real world, where the main character, I can't remember, it's been so long since I've seen the movie, but he makes money in the game and then gets an omnidirectional treadmill and all this gear to experience the game better.
Mm-hmm.
And then in Westworld, you're actually in the world and you can physically die.
Yeah.
I think that would be taking it too far.
You think that would take it a little too far?
Yeah, it's Android takeover and all that.
Yeah.
That's never good. But just the idea of that in a video game.
Yeah. Okay. And I think that's one of those things that we talked about a little bit in VR games in that episode. That me and Taylor have talked about before, and I'm sure when you lived with me, when Taylor was over a couple times, I'm sure we all talked about that a couple times. Just the idea of how extensive VR games could get in the future, and unfortunately, yeah, I wish it would happen in our lifetime. God damn, I wish it would happen in our lifetime. But, man, every time I think of a video game like that, it just gets me depressed, bro. It just depresses me, because I'm like, that's never gonna, I'm not gonna see that. Like, unless we really step up our cryogenics game, I'm not gonna see that shit, alright? So, because if we do that, then I'm gonna be like, alright, so I don't have to save the money for that technology yet. I just have to save the money for the cryogenics to get me 100 or so years and see if it's out then.
I don't know. Look how far we've come since the 80s, you know?
I mean, yeah, I think people do really not resist, really do underestimate how fast technology is progressing right now. People don't acknowledge it enough, but a lot of people tell you we're still in a golden age of technology. Like, it's just coming and coming and coming. Like, it just doesn't stop. It slows down every now and then where we don't see anything for a few years, and then next thing you know, you have cybernetic contact lenses, cars that are driving themselves, big trucks that are being marketed to drive themselves, so we don't have to worry about people being stupid and methed out driving the big trucks and stuff. And we just, we're there. Those are all things I listed that exist right now. Like, there's a Japanese company working on flying cars, and obviously the flying cars are the general build of them looks like a car, but then it has it's like a quadcopter, has like four Nikolai the what is it, the blades, 4 of those, and it looks like a car kind of with that. And obviously as time goes on, I'm sure that will be a more solidified idea instead of just looking like a weird little quadcopter that can fit 1 or 2 people. But it's crazy because we're in that world, and Elon Musk just out of nowhere the other day brought out a Neuralink thing, and it's more for quadriplegic people and disabled people to be able to still interact with their phones and stuff like that. And assuming they had the money for a complete smart home type situation with an Alexa connected to the lights and all that stuff, and they just kept their phone on the charger, they could use that Neuralink to control the whole house. And that's insane. That's a pretty crazy idea, and it's already being tested in pigs and stuff. And So technology is getting there, especially with the Neuralink. And I could go on for days and days about how a Neuralink could, and this is going to be a very quick transition here, but it's not going to go this quick. I just want to preface it with that. But a Neuralink could potentially go from a Neuralink that is implanted in your head to being able to, if we could program the way brains think, then basically what you're looking at is transitioning into being able to upload your thoughts. If you can upload your thoughts, now we're getting real sci-fi here, but bear with me. But if you can upload your thoughts, you can upload your consciousness. And if you can upload your consciousness, then you could interact with a digital world in some way, potentially. And obviously, those are three big moves. That's not like one thing leads to the other instantly. It doesn't. Those are big-ass moves for the future. But if we could do it, then I don't have to see any one of you again. Yes! But
deal with none of y'all asses now, Mo.
Podcast is over, bitch. No, I'm kidding. But still, so that's an ambitious idea, what Nikolai has there. I don't think we're going to see it anytime soon. But, man, god damn. Nikolai, I hate that you had to bring it up, because now, all day, Kagan's idea could blow my fucking mind. And all day, I'm just going to be like...
If it makes you feel any better, not only is it not going to happen anytime soon, it's likely never going to happen at this point. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but...
Don't break my heart, alright? Okay? It's been broken too many times in my life. I don't know if you're trying to end it for me right now, or what you're trying to do. Okay? Either way, so going on with Nikolai's there. What are you thinking about Nikolai's dream video game? Sound like a dude?
I mean, VR is intriguing for sure. I haven't done much with it personally, but yeah, I mean, I think that is ideally what most gamers have in mind for the future.
Yeah.
Albeit probably distant future, but we all want that much more of an escape.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, games are already an escape enough, but we always want more. And that was kind of the whole premise with the movie was you could do anything you wanted. You could be anyone you wanted. So, yeah, I mean, why not? That would be amazing.
Yeah. Valian, we're going to get to your idea, man. But what are you thinking about? The future of gaming over here in young Nikolai Dawntreader? Nick, why don't you just go to college, bro? Get your money, go to college. Because he's smart. I'm not making fun of him. He's a smart motherfucker. This Nikolai here, trust me, this dude... If he applies himself in college and became like a really, really good engineer, you never know. This man right here might make it happen, all right, Nick? So that's what you need to do, all right? You need to go to college, man. Join this column over here. But anyways, Valiant, what are you thinking of Nikolai's idea?
I mean, part of one of my ideas is... VR, AR, like experiencing it in real time. So like I'm all board. I'm all on board for that. Again, I don't think it's likely. And there's a lot of technical stuff behind that it's exhausting for me to even think about. But yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be great. I'd love to see it. Getting slowly closer to the singularity, but
transcending,
which is the term for what you were talking about. Putting your mind in a machine. Like it's what futurists. It's their wet dream. As a former futurist myself,
I had to change pants this morning because of it.
Yeah, no, I like it.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Good old Valion. The smartest one here. But in seriousness, though, Valion, I have a lot of experience with video games. I have a lot of know-how on video games and stuff like that. We have SoundLikeADude over here, fairly new to video games, but fairly ambitious about them. Nikolai, who's just dreaming his heart away over here, and and then Valion, who probably, just based on how long he's been playing video games and stuff, probably has the most experience with video games here. So, he's got the most to draw from out of all of us, probably. So, I mean, he's talking about that Secret World game that I don't even know what that is, bro. I live in the real world, okay, not the secret world, all right? So,
I just have a few notes here I'm going to pull out.
Uh-oh. Oh, shit!
He wasn't kidding.
God damn.
All right. Sorry.
All right, this will be 6 episodes long.
He's
Here we
got
go.
a whole game fucking
He got the
script out.
yeah, I was about to say, he's got
It's
the
all
script.
blank paper.
Okay, goddamn. I was so worried. I was like, oh, dude, we'll just come back for years next week. Fuck, dude.
Oh, damn, all right.
Oh, man.
Publish that shit.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Synthus locked in for the long haul.
He's ready for it. We already passed Synthes's idea. I know his dream video game idea is much like Nikolai's up here with the VR and everything like that. Either way, Valion, let's get into it. Let's hear what you got. Let's hear what you got, man.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Pulls out a college essay.
I mean, God, I don't want to think about how many papers I've written. But I do actually have some notes pulled up on one of these screens. Don't really need to look at it, but I have a few ideas. I never really went into detail about any of them, though. To go back to what Sounds Like a Dude said first, with her idea, it's funny because it's really fucking close to one of my ideas. And I guess that means that there's an audience for it. You know, one person's, a niche, 2 people, who knows. But so there's an MMO called The Secret World, and I think now it's called The Secret World Legends because they kind of revamped it and launched some new stuff. And basically, it's a game set in modern day where you're a part of one of the 3 factions: the Illuminati, the Templars, and the Dragons, I think might be the 3rd one. But it's set in New York, London, and like Hong Kong or Japan or somewhere over in Asia, not to generalize them as all one place, but and it's a game that deals with the real and the magical, and it's a wonderful game. It's actually one of my top 5 MMOs. I don't really talk about it a whole lot because it's a niche MMO, but it's really customizable. You have different weapon systems that you can combine. Like, you could be a blood mage. You can't be a vampire, unfortunately, and I'll get to that in a second. But you can manipulate blood at the same time as wielding an AK-47. You mix and match, and there's the trinity in the sense that there's a tank, healer / support, and DPS, but at the same time they kind of do away with that a lot. Wonderful game. Anyway, so that part exists, like the modern day dealing with like how you start out into this world. Yeah, there's some shit. It's been out since 2012, I think, if I recall, 2011, 2012. But Zenith has got some screen caps up on game. But yeah, it starts off, you're this human being that's like, well, you go and join up with this faction and choose a weapon. Okay, cool. Now start leveling that weapon. And oh wait, now you're in the town of Innsmouth, and Dagon came out of the water, and it's Lovecraft all over the place. Or you go to China, and you fight dragons and shit. Like it's world hopping. It's modern day. It's real customizable. For the time, it was super. Like, it was probably the most customizable MMO.
Yeah.
But anymore, not so much. But because like Black Desert came out, and that's been the gold standard for character customization. And yeah, it would be real cool to see another modern day game, like an updated take on that. And I would love to see something like with vampires and werewolves and World of Darkness, the tabletop that those are a part of. Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolf the Apocalypse, and then there's Hunter, Mage, Changeling, etc., etc. It's a wonderful system, and I'd love to see a more immersive version of that, especially with updated like what we have now, because you got to think the heyday of MMOs was 2010.
Yeah.
I mean, 2010 to 2012 was the high point. That's when you had Guild Wars 2 come out, Secret World, all that stuff. Yeah, I would love to see something extremely similar to basically what she said. I would like to see an open world. I would like to see if, you could be a vampire, you could be a werewolf, you could be a mage, you could be a dude with an AK and some grenades, just fucking, pop some cans down the street. Werewolf comes at you, rocket launcher to the face seems to work. You don't need a silver bullet.
I mean, fair,
Hard to regenerate when you're in tiny pieces.
But takes a long time.
There's a fighter jet hanger in the background. No, I had to sell mine. But yeah, that would definitely be one of my games. Two of the games out of my dream games would be MMOs. The other one would be, and I know what people are automatically going to go to, but I would love to see a Pokemon-style battler MMO. Before someone says Pokemon Go, no, that is not a true MMO. As much as I would like it to be, it is not. But I think Pokemon Go is the right start, because I think you should be able to take it with you as you go, and that should be part of the immersion. You can load the game on your phone, and you can load the game on your PC while you're at home. And I think they laid the groundwork there, and I'm kind of wondering, because Niantic, the people who developed the game, they're ahead of the game as far as ARGs go. Like, they, I forget the original one. I played it before Pokemon Go. It was real fun. It got super popular for like 3 months and then died.
They have another one out now, don't they? Dinosaur, I think Jurassic World?
Yeah, something like it. Ingress was the name of it. And it didn't really have visuals. It was kind of a in-your-head game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's totally out there, and I would love to see a Pokemon-style MMO where you pick a team, and you can build your team, from constantly upgradable, and you do see bits and pieces of it, like WoW has a pet battle system, and I think there's pet battle systems in other games. But something way more immersive where that's what it's based around. And you legitimately, like in Pokemon Go, you can go and get region-locked Pokemon. Like, we're here in the southern U.S., and we can get Tauros, and Sounds Like a Dude and Nikolai are on the East Coast, and, maybe they can get Magikarp, because just like Magikarp, East Coasters are useless. It's all the same.
This man builds Waffle Houses, alright? You let him do what he does. I wouldn't have anywhere to eat at 4 a.m. in the morning without this motherfucker, alright?
I mean, hey, I'm not gonna knock that. Waffle Houses are the, gold standard for emergencies.
Oh, yeah.
Knowing when shit's too fucked.
I might eat that shit tonight.
Well, I mean, if a Waffle House closes, shit's going down.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because they never close. Yeah, so Pokemon-style MMO and, a modern world MMO, we can do sci-fi going in the future with one. That would be great, too. Because there really aren't many good sci-fi MMOs. WildStar and Star Wars The Old Republic were the two big ones. WildStar crashed famously. within like the first 6 months. I think they pulled the plug. Star Wars Old Republic was great at launch, died, and then with the Revan stuff they brought it back, and it was great, but now it's pretty much it's down to the core community. It's dormant. So yeah, Pokemon MMO and modern day, like I want to call it D20 modern because I'm coming from tabletop, but a modern day Magic meets sci-fi meets like real world kind of game, or just give me Secret World Legends and redo it. Give me WoD Secret World Legends and stuff. But in any case, another game, like I would love to see a true superhero game. And I know, the big one right now people are talking about is Marvel Avengers. I don't like it.
Nope.
I think it sucks.
I do too.
It doesn't catch my attention. The voice acting is bad.
Mm-hmm.
The campaign is weak.
It sucks
Real weak.
because the voice actors, don't let us shit on the voice act. The voice actors in the game are great.
Oh yeah.
They just
who they build
yeah.
for that game was great. It had a promising cast, but the dialogue that they have them commit to is bad.
Yeah.
The graphics are okay. The mechanics, I guess, are fine. I don't know. I didn't really play it, but I've watched enough of it, and I've seen enough reviews from people that I trust that it's just a game I'm going to skip over. So I would like to see some form of a good superhero game. It could be an MMO, it could be a MOBA, it could be, I don't give a shit. But mainly the first two. But what I want to see out of a game most anymore, like any kind of dream game, is give me enough consistent content, because I don't think that exists. I think what you have is you have games that are, sure, there are plenty of open world like Breath of the Wild or, Witcher 3, but that content is still relatively easy to cycle through. You complete those games in hours, Bloodborne, whatever. And I hope that's what they do with Cyberpunk, is that I hope that, you're going to have that campaign with the game. I would love to see an X-Men game. I am an X-Men stan, all fucking day. That is my bread and butter when it comes to comics.
Yeah.
You want to know anything about X-Men, ask me. But, I want to see consistent content updates across games in general, because I don't think we get it. I think, we've gone into this monetized DLC once a year, twice a year, and for some people that's fine, but I get bored with games pretty easily, because at this point for me it's all been done. I've seen everything. And also virtual.
Yeah.
Give me the fucking Pokemon MMO, the real world MMO, like Sword Art Online, Isekai style shit where I'm trapped in a world, or I don't have to be trapped, I guess. I just, want to... Earth is pretty shitty. I would like to leave. But...
I would like to leave. This man said, give me the first stick it out, bro.
2 out of 10. 2 out of 10 stars, wouldn't recommend. Just, whenever you're born, just leave, just crawl right back in there and disappear.
Crawl right back in there.
Back into the tube. I don't know. There's a doggo on the screen.
Sorry.
Now I'm just no. I love your dogs, by the way. I think I've said that several times. But yeah, give me constant, immersive, consistent DLC. If you want to call it DLC, or just content in general. Yeah. But if I had to pick a dream game, Pokemon Worldwide, that's what I'm gonna call it, I guess. Or fucking Secret World meets WoD, modernize that shit with all the graphics, all the hype. Get me VR going so I can actually wield a Kukri and just stab, a Cthulhu star spawn.
Yeah, there you
while
go.
I'm at it. Fuck, yeah, and I can feel the tentacles on my body when I do other things. I'm not gonna go into that. That's my secret game wish. Yeah.
There you go. Now we're getting to the real ideas. Hentai, the video game.
Yeah,
the VR experience. All
that's
right.
it.
I like that. I like that. Those ideas a lot. That's something that I've hit on before, and I really... It's a dream game of mine, but I just don't bring it up as my dream game. but a Pokemon style MMO. And I really like the idea of Pokemon Go and it being set in an MMO kind of setting, to where we could actually, have traditional Pokemon battles and stuff like that. Like, when it comes to battling, Pokemon Go fucked it up. I don't know what they did. Like, they fucked it up on that and the raids and stuff. Like, I like catching the Pokemon. Like, they have the geographical stuff and the VR, AR capabilities and everything. But when it comes to, like, battling and stuff like that, they fucked it up. But that's something we've also talked about before when I bring up, like, cash cows and stuff. That's something that fucking Pokemon Team doesn't want to give us because they know how much money it'll make if they give us a Pokemon MMO. They know for a fact. And it would kill off the rest of the Pokemon games because, and essentially, all you would have to do instead of updating, or instead of giving us a new Pokemon game in a different region, give us a DLC and have new regions and Pokemon come out with that DLC. That's all you'd have to do. But they don't want to do that because they know we won't keep coming back and buying each new fucking Pokemon game. They know what they've got. They know what they got their hands on. They're never going to give it to us unless they're doing bad.
That's true. Yeah.
And that's not to say don't go buy their games to make them do bad for that. Because if we ever want to see that, they're still going to need money to do it. So
yeah,
that's like the weird situation the consumer is in there. Because it's like, all right, well, we want that type of game, not the games they're giving us. So don't buy their games if you don't enjoy them. Correct. Don't do that. But if you ever want to see that Pokemon MMO, you've got to buy the games because they need money to do it. And it fucking sucks. That sucks ass. They're in control. And it sucks to admit that. They're 100% in control of that IP. And on top of that, it's Nintendo, who are... I love Nintendo, but some of the most controlling people when it comes to their IPs. Unfortunately, because they have the greats. They have, Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, Smash Bros. They have all these things to pull from. It sucks because they're in complete control of it and they know it. But, and then, oh fuck, what was the other one? There was another one of those of his that I was going to hit on real quick. The super-powered MMOs. That's something I've been wanting for years and years. And there was a project, I think it was called like Project Power or something like that back in the day. And it never came out. I don't know where it's at. Doesn't exist. This game just doesn't exist anymore. I can't even fucking find it.
Now, to be fair, there have been a few attempts, and I do want to acknowledge those. City of Heroes, I think it was, or City of Champions, or I think they both exist. Because there's a City of Heroes, City of Villains, City of Champions. DC did an MMO that actually wasn't terrible.
Yeah, I thought
I just wish they would have kept it updated. There was a MOBA, a DC MOBA. God, DC tried so hard, and they almost succeeded. But yeah, those were fine, but I want to see like some real cool superpowers are customizable. It's not just like you have 5 different sets of powers and they're very linear trees. I want fucking like Final Fantasy grid mapping for my skills.
Yes. Goddamn that sphere grid, man. I don't know why they didn't do that. I don't know why they didn't continue with that. I remember everyone being like, I hate it. But I was like, man, that's because your mind isn't open enough, man. But for sure, there's been attempts with superhero games and stuff, and there are superhero games that do good, like Spider-Man video game. The new video game is fine. It's a fun game. The Batman games are all pretty good. But when it comes to actually creating your own hero and playing with other people, like an MMO, it just... when it comes to those things, there's not enough customization and immersion in it. And obviously there's going to be a lack of immersion in those situations anyways. You watch the newest Avengers movie, you're going to be immersed because you're interested. You're not going to be immersed because at the end of the day, no matter how well done CG is or anything, you're still going to know it's fake. You know it isn't real. So I guess that's kind of what they bank on. They're like, well, they're not going to be immersed, so fuck it. Like, but that's not the right attitude to go into that with. There's a level of immersion you can hit that, with video games specifically, that you just can't with everything else. Because you're still controlling the character, and if they had an MMO where you could truly customize your character, I mean, down to the point to where, like, some of these Tekken games and stuff recently, where it's like, I could make me 100% in the game and then give me powers, but powers I get to pick from, and they level up in the way that I want, instead of having to, almost a classless system, because I would like to be like, okay, I want electric powers, but down the line I also maybe want to mix that with like some darkness type shit. So now my lightning is like black, and my teleport ability, now I like turn into a shadow on the ground or something and move around, but like lightning like is striking out from me, and so now it's like hitting enemies as I move. And there's a lot you could do with superheroes, like powers and superpowers and stuff, in terms of an MMO. So I'm really into those ideas. What's an edgelord class in every game, to be honest? You're goddamn right I do. Anyways, moving on there. SoundLikeADude, what are you thinking of Valion's ideas? A little less ambitious than Nikolai's ideas, but still pretty
no less
ambitious.
valid.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. I do find it kind of interesting when Pokemon Go came out that there wasn't a push for more people to do that style where you can, real life go and play the game.
Yeah,
and I'm a little surprised that we never did see any more of that.
Yeah, I just now thought, like, when you brought that up, I was like, goddamn, the company specifically that did Pokemon Go has the one more dinosaur game after, and that no one cares about dinosaurs right now. No offense, but
no.
And
there was a Harry Potter game where you could duel and shit there for a little bit, but that came so far after people requested it, because that's been on the radar for years. That it kind of died on arrival because everyone was already wanting something else. But there was technically a dueling wizard game, which, to be fair, if you think about it, that's pretty badass.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool idea.
Actually, yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
So I think that sort of thing would be so cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Pokemon Go is revolutionary.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, it had people outside. It had me. I played it too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I never watched Pokemon. I never liked Pokemon. I didn't know really anything about them before that, and I was like, I want to play. And I played until my phone wouldn't let me do it anymore.
What a sacrilegious thing to say. No, I'm kidding. but yeah, for sure though. It is weird that it just wait.
It was like, Pokemon, then that's it.
Yeah, no one else was like, yeah, like that. Let's do that.
Let's get on this. Yeah, right.
They saw how successful it was, and I think everyone was just so scared to do it and fuck it up and spend the money, because I'm sure that does cost a little bit more to start taking into account locations
GPS?
And making maps. Yeah, and start region locking certain things to certain areas and doing special events for holidays and seasons.
Right.
And I think definitely that is something that probably costs a little bit more, that maybe they're just scared of doing. They're just like, I don't know about it. Like, Nintendo has the fuck you money to do that, while a lot of other IPs probably don't.
That's true.
And I want to be fair. I say Pokemon because that's the easiest go-to for people to reference. Yeah. But I don't give a shit if it's an all-new original property, like if Tenet or whatever that game is. Tim, yeah. Or hell, give me a fucking Digimon team battler. Like I'll rock some old school Digimon or Monster Ranch or something. But yeah, just a team battle, build creatures. And also because not only are you, kind of like what SoundLikeADude is saying, get people out playing games, but also get people to travel. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be people that are going to be pissed at first, like, oh, I have to go to 2 states away to get this Pokemon or whatever.
Right.
But it's cool.
Yeah,
it's
go.
like
see the world.
It's
play
like
games and see the world.
Yeah, it's like people want Pokemon. Like, I want them. When I was a kid, one of my biggest dreams was I wanted Pokemon to exist. I was like, I don't care. I don't care if they're man-made fucking creatures, dude. I want them. I was like, I want them to exist, and I want them to be all over the world, so that at any point I could go, dude, I want to go to Japan today and get, this Pokemon or whatever. Like, I'm gonna save up money so I can go get that Pokemon, and then they could build, like they do in the world of Pokemon, an economy based on like battling and breeding, or even just down to taking care of them, like a daycare like thing on Pokemon. That you could do so much with that, but then we get probably as close as we're ever gonna get to that by Pokemon Go, and then everyone's like, nope, I don't want to leave. Like, what the fuck do you want? What do you want? How do you expect that to work? You want them to be real,
having to go out and get food for your Pokemon.
Oh, people would lose their fucking mind. They're like, I don't want to feed the thing. Like,
just fucking let it. You okay, let your. It's the equivalent of the Tamagotchi.
Yeah, exactly. It's like everyone would.
Mine died after like 3 days.
Yeah, everyone less hardcore about it would only care about it for 2 weeks, and then be like, I don't want to take care of this fucking like electric mouse running around in my house. What the fuck? God.
But I mean, any sort of kind of collection game like that, like, you talk about wanting things to be real from like when you were like a kid, like dragons. Like, I don't know, you go collect different types of dragon. It could be anything.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of stuff they could really, really, like, just break the bank with on stuff like that, like dragons and Pokemon and Digimon. Digimon, I don't know why they haven't done it with Digimon. Digimon is digital monsters. This is a digital device. Shout out to Kingdom Hearts. But it makes sense for Digimon to have one of those types of games. I don't understand why they don't. Now that I think about it, that has more right to have a fucking digital phone mobile game than Pokemon does. Like, Jesus Christ. But then you could do things like other stuff too, like hell, you could go as far as just to do like in an expanded universe like Lord of the Rings or Star Wars, like some of the biggest universes that we have of some IP. Just, you could have some kind of scavenger hunt app, put less money into animations and stuff, and just do artifacts. Like, I went on this hiking trail today and found the Darksaber from Star Wars, like, out here in this hiking trail, and there was like only one day you could do it. So, now everyone's out there in this fucking hiking trail walking around like, holy shit, like, where's the Darksaber, bro? Like, trying to find it, look through their phone to find it. And there's so much they could do with that, and I don't know why there isn't more. I don't want to hit on it too long, because eventually I do want to do a mobile gaming episode, and I think there's a lot of stuff that you could expand on in terms of mobile gaming and doing that and stuff, but that, I don't know why that isn't used more. I mean, that's as close to, like, his level of VR that we can get right now is if we use our phones, and if we had like Google Glass or something on our face. Obviously don't use it while you're driving, but have some kind of Google Glass type thing so we could see things implemented into the world and have it connected to our phone, or some type of a like bracelet, wrist, touchpad thing where you could catch Pokemon from that. I mean, you look like a fucking dork, but who gives a shit? I'm catching Pokemon, motherfucker. I caught Mewtwo and you didn't, bitch. That's how it is. Right. But still, like, I don't know. There's so much they could do there that they haven't yet. But I don't know. As far as that goes, Nikolai, what do you think about Valion's ideas or Pokemon MMO, or just more expansive, super powered MMOs, or in-depth MMOs and stuff? What do you think about it?
Yeah, that's definitely something I want to see. Just generally really customizable MMO.
Yeah.
As far as Pokemon Go goes, an MMO for Pokemon in the Pokemon realm, that would be something amazing to see. But for me personally, I never got in the bandwagon with Pokemon Go. I'll give you an example. When I was living in Florida, I was with my nephew, and we were out riding bikes at this park. And we're sitting at the benches, and this random person comes up, and they come up and they say, "Did you catch anything good?" I'm sitting there, I'm like, looking around or something. I didn't know if I had a fishing pole or something I didn't know about. I'm like, "What do you mean?" And they're like, "Did you catch anything good? Did you catch any Pokemon?" I was like, I was so fucking pissed.
Just straight angry about it, like, what the fuck?
But
Damn.
I just didn't like the battling system of Pokemon Go.
Yeah,
So that's why I never got into it.
That's something I don't know why they didn't fucking expand on the battling. It's Pokemon, dude. I want to battle my friends with their Pokemon, okay? I don't want them to have better CP or whatever it's called, and just because their CP is better, they're better. No, I want to battle with the Pokemon. I don't know why. They definitely, that's where they lost me, for sure. I liked catching them, but when it came to like other shit, I was like, I could care less do this other stuff. I just want to catch them and collect them. And then at that point, what am I going to do? Because I can't battle my friends and stuff. And I think they're implementing some kind of battle system in it now, but it's still not Pokemon battling system. And I don't know why they didn't implement that, but that is hilarious to me. This man's checking around like, did I go fishing? It's like, when did I get way too high today? What the hell happened here? What are you talking about, bro? Just straight up. Oh, man. I bet, and immediately you went, man, I don't fucking play that. I bet that was your... I know this motherfucker. I know his response was, get the fuck out of here. I don't play that. He was mad. Oh, man. If anyone in the chat has any ideas they'd like to throw at us as well, or dream game ideas or anything, like I know, go ahead and put those in the chat now. But just to start here, I know Domination said that he wanted to see Sly Cooper and something else way earlier. The chat's been pretty busy today, so but it was, oh yes, Mario Galaxy 3 and another Sly Cooper game. I think those are less along the lines of a dream game and more along the lines of possibilities, for sure. Definitely. With all the remasters and stuff, Sly Cooper already had a remake, like a remaster, HD remaster, on PS3, a collection. And they're really good, and they sold pretty well on PS3 at least. I don't think they brought them over to PS4. But with all the from scratch remakes that we're seeing, Spyro, Ratchet and Clank, Crash Bandicoot, all of those that we're seeing, I think Sly Cooper 100% could happen. Sly Cooper 4, we'd probably see a full remaster, like remake of the other games before we saw Sly Cooper 4, I would think. But yeah, we could see those. Mario Galaxy 3, as far as Mario goes, yeah, don't hope for, but expect anything from Nintendo, especially with Mario, because they do all kinds of stuff. Like, they just surprised us randomly with Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario 64 all coming to the Switch. Not remade, but at least HD remastered, where the textures are up-resed and stuff. So Mario Galaxy 3, Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 sold really well. So a third, I don't think they'd be against. There are rumors that we're getting a Nintendo Switch Pro, like a high-powered 4K Nintendo system, which is cool because, man, Breath of the Wild in 4K, I mean, I need new pants. I need new pants now. That's all it is to it. What'd you say?
I said I might have to get that, the Nintendo
bundle.
Switch Pro with the Yeah, with
Yeah.
the new Breath of the Wild.
Oh, for sure. Like, definitely. And just, up the view distance on it and up the textures and everything, and it's already like, oh, okay. It's already a beautiful game to look at on mobile or on TV. So, it'd probably blow my fucking mind if I saw it in 4K with a higher frame rate or something. So, I'm excited to see if they do have a Switch Pro. Because apparently the rumor is that a lot of game studios have been told recently to start making 4K games or work on 4K games and make them work on Nintendo architecture. And so people are assuming, oh shit, we're getting some 4K Zelda games. And the Zelda game prequel that's coming, yeah, the Hyrule Warriors, whatever, that's a prequel to Breath of the Wild. Yeah, I'm into that too, and that uses like similar animation as Breath of the Wild, so that'd be nice in 4K. They have a lot of games that would look real pretty in 4K that I'd like to see, so I hope they do have that. I'm curious if it's just going to be a home console, like not mobile, but I don't know. We'll see. As far as that goes, I'm not seeing any more ideas or anything coming from the chat about any new Dream games or anything that they have in store. So as far as that goes, we're gonna start wrapping up here. Thank you guys so much in the chat for the busy chat. Even if it was a little off topic, the busy chat and stuff today, I do appreciate it. I think this is one of the more fun episodes we've had out of the season for sure. The other two topics were super serious, so it's always good to cut loose and chill out and converse and stuff, and kind of get back to the original ideas of the podcast in general. But yeah, thank you guys for watching in the chat. Thank you guys for listening at home. For those of you that end up listening to this, we really do appreciate you here. We've been going up in views and stuff like that. We're getting to the point. Save a couple, one or so day every couple weeks. We're getting to the point that we actually have like at least one listener a day. And I know that doesn't sound very crazy, but there's 30 days in a month. So 1 to more listeners a day is pretty cool, actually. And thank you guys for the ratings that we've been getting over on Apple iTunes and Apple Podcasts and stuff. I do appreciate those. Remember, guys, if you haven't already, go to those things and rate them and follow or subscribe on whatever service that you want to watch on. Every other Friday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time is when we live record the episode of the podcast. So we'd love to have you guys in the Twitch chat if you haven't already had that luxury. As far as everything else goes, thank you to Nikolai, Valion, and SoundLikeADude for being here. I appreciate having you guys here. SoundLikeADude, you have anything that you want to shout out, promote, or whatever?
Well, sure. I am a promoter for the makeup company that I use. I know all your lovely viewers here are going to need some makeovers soon, I'm sure.
I mean,
so
coming out of lockdown,
to send you where to go. The brand that I use is called Notoriously Morbid. It's actually made out of my state, so it's a very small indie company. Very good quality materials. A lot of it's vegan even.
Oh yeah.
And you can save 15% by using code DUDE15.
Hell yeah, Dude.
Because
15.
it's more than just makeup. It's clothing. There's perfumes and jewelry and stuff like that. So, we've got Christmas coming up.
Hell yeah.
Got to start thinking about it. So.
Yeah. If you guys have anything maybe you don't want the makeup or jewelry or anything, but you got someone special in mind that could use it, hell yeah.
Indeed.
It's Dude 15, DUDE 15.
Yeah, DUDE.
All right, hell yeah. You got anything else to promote?
No, don't think so.
Maybe your Twitch.
That's pretty much. Yeah, I mean, come and see me on Twitch for sure. Yeah. Definitely. Sound Like a Dude on Twitch. I do stream every night about 9:30 Eastern. I go till about midnight or so. I do cooking streams once a month. It's Oktoberfest, guys, coming up soon. We're gonna have some Oktoberfest, do some German food, eat, drink lots of beer.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Got
Sounds like a
makeup
good time.
cosplays coming up and stuff like that. So lots
Hell
of fun
yeah.
stuff this month.
Awesome. All right. Valion, what you got to shout out, brother?
You can find my stuff over under You Can Fucking Cook. There's a WordPress blog. There's a YouTube channel with videos and self-loathing. Plenty of that going on. I do have a Twitch. I streamed for like 3 days. I don't know that I'm gonna continue doing that, but I do. If for when it is around, you can. I do host Zenith on there. But if you feel like following, it's twitch.tv/Valion, VALYON_lightstar, LIGHTSTAR. Also, I think I threw SoundLikeADude on hosting. So basically, when I'm not on, if they're on, one of those two is going to be on that channel, so you can always find some quality content. Other than that, I want to shout out Neil Gaiman's Norse mythology. He kind of wrote his own take on it. Neil Gaiman's a really good writer, and yeah, books. So that's pretty much it. Also, go vote if you're in the U.S. this November. Shout out to voting and doing your civic duty, because yeah, we live in a dumpster. Depression!
Yay! Yeah, for sure. If you guys are, over the age of 18, you live in the United States, voting is coming up. That's something a lot of people have been shouting out. I'm not going to make the podcast super political platform or anything. Just vote. If you want your voice heard, vote. I'd prefer if you voted for someone that didn't want us dead, but just vote. If you're in the U.S., though. But either way, Nikolai, what do you have here to promote, if anything?
Yeah, nothing.
All right, that's what I thought. All right. Well, at least we can rely on consistency from Nikolai Dawntreader. All right, but thank you guys for listening. Either way, be sure to rate and review the podcast. Show us around to your friends. Word of mouth is one of the best ways for podcasts to get around. So I do appreciate any of you telling your friends and stuff to check us out. And I appreciate you guys again. And I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Thank you. All right. There we go. There we go. Well, what'd you think? What'd you think about your first time over here on the Dark Sky Gaming Podcast?
Good times, good times.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, we have a
Thank you
we
so
have
much
a fun
for
time.
having me.
Yeah, it's no problem. Keep the lines of communication open. We'd love to have you more on the podcast. As it stands right now, I've got a few developers and stuff set up. Hold on, let me make sure I can't hear myself anymore because I'm having a stroke over here. Listen. Boom, there we go. Yeah. Keep the lines of communication open and everything, though. We appreciate having you over here, and if you want to get on another episode in the future,